My love. She walked into my life like a whisper, delicate, almost invisible, yet carrying a strength that shook the very foundations of my soul. Her hand seemed small. Her frame seemed light. Yet every touch of hers felt heavier than the heaviest burdens I had carried alone. She looked fragile, like a glass sculpture that could shatter with a single thought. But her love was stronger than mountains, older than the rivers, deeper than the oceans. Every glance of hers held a storm, quiet, relentless, unstoppable. Every smile of hers was a sunrise that could heal even the darkest parts of me. My love. People saw her as gentle, meek, delicate. But I saw the quiet power in her heart, the loyalty in her soul, the kind of love that moves mountains without needing applause, without needing recognition. I have met warriors who carried swords and kings who carried crowns, but none could match the bravery of her heart. She looked fragile, but she had the courage to love. In a world that tried to break her, to hurt her, to make her doubt her own worth, every scar she bore was a testament to the mountains she had already climbed alone. And every moment she loved me was a new summit conquered, without a single complaint. She looked fragile, yet in her embrace I found strength I had never known. I found a home in her heart, a sanctuary where the storms of life were nothing but whispers outside the wall she built with love. My love. It is not easy to describe the paradox of someone who seems small and delicate, yet carries the weight of eternity in her quiet, unwavering love. And I am honored to witness it, to feel it, to be touched by it, because she looked fragile, yet her love was stronger than mountains. And I will carry that truth in my heart for the rest of my life. She gave love without hesitation, without counting the cost, without fearing the world's judgment. Every beat of her heart was a promise, a vow carved in silence, stronger than any fortress built by men. She looked fragile, but she carried storms in her chest that no one could ever tame. Her softness was not weakness. It was the courage to be tender in a world that wanted her to harden. She gave her heart freely, even when the world offered nothing in return. She held my scars as if they were her own, and in her touch, I found the strength to heal from pain I thought I would carry forever. My love. Her eyes were pools of quiet fire, and in their depths, I saw oceans of resilience. She had no crown, no palace, no sword, yet her love ruled over every fear I had ever known. She looked fragile, yet her love carried the weight of mountains, the force of rivers, the patience of centuries. And she loved not because it was easy, but because it was her truth. She did not demand perfection. She did not require grandeur. She loved in simplicity, in humility, in the kind of devotion that is felt in the bones and whispered to the soul. And my love. I learned from her that the strongest hearts are often the quietest, the most fragile looking, hold the fiercest power. Her love did not scream. It did not boast. It simply existed, immovable, unstoppable, eternal. She looked fragile. Yet every time I doubted, every time I feared, every time life tried to break me, her love lifted me higher than any peak I had ever dreamed of climbing. And in her embrace, I found the world. I found peace. I found a courage I didn't know I had, because she looked fragile. Yet her love was stronger than mountains. And I will never forget the day I realized how rare such love truly is. She loved in ways the world could not see, ways that required no applause, no recognition, no reward. Every quiet gesture, every soft word, every sacrifice hidden in shadows, was proof that her heart carried more power than the strongest kingdoms of men. She looked fragile, but she held storms in her chest that could silence armies. Her gentleness was not weakness. It was the strength of a soul that had survived winters no one could imagine. I watched her give without taking, stand without leaning, believe without proof. She gave me her all, without asking for mine. And in her love, I discovered a courage that reshaped my very being. My love, when the world tried to break her, she did not crumble. When life offered hardships, she did not falter. She stood like a mountain herself, silent, majestic, unwavering. And yet, her love was tender. It could melt the hardest hearts. It could calm the wildest fears. She looked fragile. Yet in that fragility was a force stronger than any mountain I had ever known. Her eyes carried the wisdom of struggle, the patience of someone who had loved and lost, and still chose to give. Her hands, though small, held the weight of devotion that no treasure could match. My love, I realized that true strength is not loud. It does not demand attention. It is quiet. It is patient. It is willing to endure without complaint. She looked fragile, but her love carried me through storms, through deserts of doubt, through nights of fear. Her love was my compass, my shield, my anchor, and I could only bow before it and learn that the strongest power in the universe is the love that comes from a fragile heart. My love, there were days when I wondered how someone so fragile could carry a love so immense. Every glance she gave, every touch she offered, was a quiet declaration that no hardship could diminish her heart. She looked delicate, like a flower that could be crushed by the wind. But her love was relentless, stronger than the hardest stones, deeper than the mightiest rivers. She gave herself fully, even when the world offered nothing. She loved without fear, without hesitation, without the need to be understood. And in her love, I found courage I never knew I possessed. My love, she endured the nights alone, the storms that no one saw, the battles of her own heart. Yet every time she looked at me, I felt the mountains bow, the rivers pause, and the skies lean in to witness the depth of her devotion. Her hands, though gentle, held worlds together. Her eyes, though soft, pierced the veil of my doubts. Her words, though few, carried the weight of eternity. She looked fragile, but her love was a force, moving silently, shaping destinies, healing hearts, and teaching me that the strongest hearts are often the ones that seem most delicate. My love, every moment with her, was a revelation, a lesson in strength, a reminder that love does not need grandeur, does not need wealth, does not need recognition. It only needs honesty, devotion, and a heart willing to give, even when it has nothing to hold. She looked fragile, yet she built empires of trust, castles of hope, and mountains of unwavering love within the confines of her quiet soul. And I am forever grateful that I could witness it, that I could be the one to feel the power of a heart that seemed fragile, yet was stronger than mountains. The day has come, the moment we have waited for silently, with every heartbeat, every prayer, every whispered wish in the quiet of night. She looked fragile, but her love had carried us through storms, through hardships no one could see, through shadows that tried to silence us. And now, standing here, I realized that her strength was never in the things she owned, but in the love she freely gave. Every touch of hers was a mountain climbed, every smile a sun rising over darkness, every glance a compass pointing to the true meaning of devotion. She gave me faith when doubt consumed me, hope when despair surrounded me, and courage when fear held me captive. Her love, a quiet, unstoppable force, stranger to arrogance, familiar to sacrifice, and unmatched in its depth. My love. Today I see clearly that the strongest hearts are often hidden behind the most delicate faces. She looked fragile, yet she had the power to move worlds, to change lives, to transform me. And so I stand here, grateful beyond words, humbled by the force of a love that no gold, no kingdom, no crown could ever equal. Her love was stronger than mountains, and I am forever held in its embrace. Sparkles, if this touched your heart, comment. Her love was stronger than mountains, and let the world know true love still exists.